Imagine you're standing on a windswept hill, nestled in southeastern Turkey, at a place called Göbekli Tepe. The historical record places this moment at 9600 BCE. Right at your feet, hundreds of people are toiling, moving massive limestone blocks, each weighing 10 to 20 tons, entirely without the aid of wheels, metal tools, or any beasts of burden. They are constructing a temple, a structure that, according to all our understanding of human history, should not have existed at that time. As a nomadic hunter-gatherer, you should have been too primitive to possess an organized religion, and too scattered to erect such monumental architecture. Yet here you are, building the oldest temple ever discovered on this planet. It wasn't until 1994 that German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt began excavations in an area long avoided by local shepherds, who believed it was haunted by a curse. His discoveries forced the scientific community to completely reevaluate and adjust the timeline of the Neolithic Revolution. Using radiocarbon dating, the construction dates were determined to be between 9600 and 8200 BCE, meaning the structure has existed for 11,600 years. This means it predates Stonehenge by 6,000 years and surpasses the Egyptian pyramids by 7,000 years. The archaeological site spans over 22 acres, with at least 20 stone circles already detected using ground-penetrating radar technology. The T-shaped limestone pillars here stand up to 18 feet tall and weigh up to 20 tons each. On the surface of these pillars, intricate carvings depicting foxes, lions, scorpions, vultures, and snakes are clearly visible. In total, over 200 animal reliefs are depicted with astonishing precision, as if crafted with surgical technique. What puzzles archaeologists is the complete absence of any traces of habitation. No hearths, no refuse heaps, and no dwellings. This appears to be a purely ceremonial site, a temple built by communities that, theoretically, had not yet invented civilization. Schmidt's analyses indicated that this structure required a workforce of over 500 people. The construction process spanned decades, demanding a level of social organization far beyond the capabilities of typical nomadic groups. Notably, Enclosure D contains Pillar 43, also known as the Vulture Stone, which Martin Sweatman from the University of Edinburgh hypothesized in 2017 might depict a comet impact that occurred around 10,950 BCE. The astronomical alignments here are far from coincidental. Clearly, the builders possessed extensive knowledge of the heavens. This discovery has completely overturned all standard archaeological explanations, challenging everything we once believed to be true. Göbekli Tepe reveals a historical turning point where hunter-gatherer communities first converged for ritualistic purposes, an event that ultimately gave birth to agriculture and a settled way of life. Perhaps it was the demands of sustaining these large-scale ceremonial gatherings that triggered the agricultural revolution, overturning all assumptions. Belief systems predated cultivation, cities, everything. However, this interpretation opens up countless questions, far exceeding what it can answer. If these communities were not settled until after Göbekli Tepe was constructed, then where did they originate from? How could scattered groups of people synchronize such sophisticated astronomical alignments and maintain such astonishing artistic consistency across generations? The megaliths show no signs of experimentation or development from rudimentary to refined. They appear perfectly formed, as if all knowledge was already fully imparted. And then a mysterious event occurred, the burial. Around 8000 BCE, this entire architectural complex was deliberately buried under thousands of tons of sediment. Some force intentionally buried the planet's oldest temple. Were the remaining people attempting to preserve or conceal a secret? Some scholars have questioned whether Göbekli Tepe is the remnant of a precursor civilization, a more advanced civilization possibly completely destroyed during the Younger Dryas climate catastrophe around 10,800 BCE. The precision, monumental scale, and astronomical knowledge here suggest an inheritance rather than an initiation. What if this isn't the dawn of a civilization, but the final echo of a vanished era reverberating from the buried temples in Turkey? Let us now delve deep beneath the ocean, towards Japan's enigmatic Yonaguni Monument. In 1987, while searching for hammerhead sharks off Yonaguni Island, Japan, a local dive guide named Kihachiro Aratake stumbled upon something extraordinary. Instead of sharks, he discovered a structure that has been debated for decades, lying 100 feet beneath the Pacific Ocean. Colossal stone steps, perfectly cut edges, and what appear to be intricately carved staircases leading into the seabed. This structure measures over 500 feet in length and rises 90 feet from the ocean floor. Professor Masaki Kimura, a marine geologist from the University of the Ryukyus, dedicated over 15 years to diving and documenting this site, publishing his findings in 1998. The central structure boasts impressive dimensions: 500 feet long, 130 feet wide, and 90 feet high. Key features of this structure include two massive parallel rock formations, perfectly square edges, symmetrically arranged steps, and flat foundational surfaces. These rock formations, each weighing up to 1,000 tons, were deliberately arranged into terraced layers. Professor Kimura clearly discovered traces of quarrying activity, tool marks, and post holes, all undeniable evidence of human intervention. This poses a significant challenge. If it is indeed an artificial structure, it must have been constructed at a time when this area was still above sea level, meaning before the end of the last ice age. The sea level rise of 130 to 160 feet occurred approximately 12,000 to 10,000 years ago, meaning this mysterious structure must predate known Japanese civilization by about 8,000 years. Throughout Kimura's documentation and research from 1998 to 2012, numerous animal carvings and mysterious symbols were discovered on the horizontal surfaces of the structure. In 1997, Robert Schoch from Boston University conducted a survey and concluded that the formation is primarily natural, though he did not rule out the possibility of human modification. Geologists, however, propose that the structure is an entirely natural sandstone formation, shaped over millennia by tectonic activity, wave erosion, and the natural fracturing of rock. Sandstone tends to fracture along straight lines, thereby creating a distinct stepped effect. This is entirely the domain of geology, not archaeology. However, natural erosion cannot explain the structure's astonishing symmetry, nor can it account for the uniform height of the steps across multiple levels, the presence of clear pathways connecting different tiers, or the stone circle found nearby with standing pillars reminiscent of the mysterious Stonehenge. The unusual right angles and perfectly flat surfaces observed during underwater surveys are entirely inconsistent with typical natural erosion patterns. What about the post holes Professor Kimura discovered on the bedrock at the bottom of the sea? Clearly, natural processes cannot create such precise drillings. Professor Kimura adamantly asserts that this is a submerged ceremonial complex, possibly even an ancient pyramid. If his hypothesis is correct, it would reveal the existence of a highly sophisticated maritime culture that flourished in the Pacific more than 10,000 years ago, a culture subsequently submerged by catastrophic sea level rise. Could this be undeniable evidence of a pre-Diluvian civilization, one that constructed magnificent structures before being permanently swallowed by the ocean? Are there dozens of other structures hidden, scattered across what were once fertile coastal plains, now buried hundreds of feet beneath the sea? The debate remains at an impasse. The current Japanese government has yet to offer any definitive support or refutation of Professor Kimura's sensational findings. Due to its location within territorial waters, this mysterious site can only be accessed and explored by authorized research teams. What secrets lie buried beneath those layers of sediment? What other enigmatic structures are waiting to be unveiled in the vast expanse of the ocean? Perhaps the mysteries of the ancient ruins submerged deep beneath the Japanese seabed will forever remain unsolved. Now, let's journey to Indonesia, where a majestic mountain conceals a secret far older than imagined. From the outside, Gunung Padang appears as a hill blanketed by countless columnar basalt stones, scattered across its terraced slopes. For centuries, the indigenous people of West Java, Indonesia, have revered this site as a sacred land, a place of profound spiritual significance. However, in 2010, a groundbreaking discovery unfolded when geologist Danny Hillman Natawidjaja conducted a ground-penetrating radar survey, revealing that the hill was, astonishingly, entirely hollow. Buried deep beneath the visible rock layers lay a series of subterranean chambers, colossal stone blocks, and what appeared to be a stepped pyramid structure, extending an astonishing 300 feet underground. What's truly astonishing is that the deeper layers, when radiocarbon dated, revealed an age so ancient it defied belief. Though the site had been known since 1914, it wasn't until 2010 that a comprehensive archaeological survey truly commenced, spearheaded by Indonesia's disaster response team. Natawidjaja's findings, once widely published in 2018, were immediately met with a strong wave of skepticism and opposition from the academic community. The outermost layer, or the first layer, was carbon dated to approximately 35 BCE. The second layer, situated deeper underground, was estimated to date back to an astonishing 8,000 BCE. The third layer, encompassing structures buried deep beneath the surface, was dated between 12,000 and 13,000 BCE. The fourth layer, representing the deepest excavated sections, revealed an incredible age of 20,000 to 22,000 BCE. In 2018, Natawidjaja and his colleagues announced that ground-penetrating radar had unveiled the presence of vast hidden chambers. Moreover, subterranean halls beneath the surface, combined with seismic tomography results, pointed to a pyramid-like structure, 300 to 400 feet tall, meticulously constructed from at least 4 distinct layers. The columnar basalt stones on the surface appeared to be deliberately arranged, not randomly scattered, with some individual blocks weighing over 200 tons. Analysis of core drill samples allowed for the extraction of organic material from a cement-like substance used to bind the rocks, which scientists now believe to be ancient geopolymer concrete. This expansive area spans approximately 25 acres, unfolding across multiple terraced levels. However, critics, including Indonesian archaeologists and the National Heritage Conservation Center, have argued that the determined age stems from natural lava flows, not from human-made construction. Many people still hold the view that this is merely a natural volcanic hill, with megalithic stones added later to its summit. The dates determined to be 20,000 BCE actually only reflect the age of the geological material, not genuine archaeological evidence. It is regarded as an ordinary mountain, not a monument created by humans. However, Natawidjaja's team collected samples from what appears to be artificial fill material, completely distinct from the area's original bedrock. Radar images have revealed the presence of deliberately arranged rectangular chambers, not randomly formed volcanic cavities. If this is truly an entirely natural structure, then why are the columnar basalt stones so neatly arranged into rows and steps, perfectly aligned with the cardinal compass directions? How could nature possibly have sculpted such a perfectly pyramid-shaped structure? Natawidjaja asserts that Gunung Padang is the remnant of a highly advanced megalithic civilization that existed before the Younger Dryas period. He argues that this pyramid was constructed in multiple phases spanning millennia, with its oldest foundations laid by a civilization that predated the Great Flood. If this hypothesis is proven, it would be the oldest pyramid ever discovered on the planet, originating in an era when most of humanity was believed to still be carving drawings in caves. The Indonesian government has taken inconsistent actions. Amidst both supporting and restricting research, this archaeological site has only been partially excavated, and its deepest mysteries still lie buried beneath the earth. What secrets lie hidden within the underground chambers detected by the radar system? How could organic material have been mixed into cement from 20,000 years ago? Who were the builders of these foundations, and what fate awaited them as the world underwent major upheavals? Leaving behind the mountains that conceal ancient pyramids, we will once again delve deep beneath the ocean's surface. Our next destination is the west coast of India, a land where the line between mythology and archaeology blurs. Dwarka. Ancient Hindu scriptures describe Dwarka as a magnificent city built by Lord Krishna, a place with golden gates and towering temples, all of which sank forever beneath the sea after Krishna's passing. For millennia, its story was considered nothing more than a legend. Then, in 2000, India's National Institute of Ocean Technology conducted routine pollution surveys in the Gulf of Cambodge off the country's west coast. A groundbreaking discovery occurred when sonar scans of the seabed, 120 feet deep, revealed astonishing geometric shapes, almost perfectly matching ancient records. Between 2000 and 2002, marine archaeologist R. Rao and his team from the Archaeological Survey of India conducted explorations, bringing to light mysterious submerged structures off the coast of modern-day Dwarka. Utilizing advanced side-scan sonar technology and underwater photography, these structures were located at an astonishing depth of 100 to 120 feet, comprising robust stone walls, solid foundations, and what are believed to be massive architectural complexes. Analysis of the sonar images revealed an extensive grid pattern stretching over 5 miles, clear evidence of an organized urban plan. A report from NIOT in 2002 confirmed the recovery of numerous valuable artifacts, including intricate pottery shards, ancient jewelry beads, fossilized wood, and notably meticulously crafted stone blocks. A piece of fossilized wood recovered from the site was dated to 75 BCE, a significant finding widely published in the Journal of Marine Archaeology in 2004. The discovery of ancient anchors and stone pillars provided compelling evidence, perfectly consistent with descriptions of an ancient port infrastructure. Side-scan sonar images exposed clear rectangular and square-shaped structures, a characteristic entirely absent in natural geological formations. The Mahabharata epic depicted Dwarka as a magnificent city with 900,000 royal palaces, adorned with glittering crystal walls and radiant silver. Excavations revealed an extremely sophisticated and advanced drainage system, demonstrating superior engineering prowess. Modern-day Dwarka is situated right on the coastline. However, the submerged area lies 20 miles offshore, a significant distance suggesting the ancient city's boundaries were far more extensive than imagined. Skeptics, however, argue that these structures are merely natural rock formations, or beach rock blocks formed by the cementation of sediments over time. Other archaeologists hypothesize that the artifacts found might have been carried there by ocean currents, rather than being original remnants of an ancient city. Nevertheless, the findings published by the Indian government remain controversial and have not yet received the independent verification needed to fully convince all academic institutions. In their view, this is merely a trick of natural geology, not evidence of a civilization once submerged beneath the sea. However, natural beach rock cannot form such perfect 90-degree angles, nor do natural structures ever create clear, symmetrical grid patterns stretching for miles, as has been discovered. Furthermore, the descriptions in the Mahabharata are incredibly detailed and specific. The epic not only mentions Dwarka's port by name, but also recounts the city's construction by Lord Krishna and its eventual submersion by the sea. If this were merely a myth, it would have to be a myth possessing an unbelievably accurate geological memory. If these dates are firmly substantiated, Dwarka would become undeniable proof of the existence of an incredibly advanced pre-Harappan civilization, capable of building organized cities with bustling seaports and complex drainage systems. What's strange is that its deep submersion perfectly aligns with the end of the Younger Dryas, an era of relentless sea level rise. Across the globe, countless coastal settlements were submerged. Could ancient texts be revealing a real catastrophe? A terrifying deluge that swallowed advanced coastal civilizations? How many more cities lie hidden deep beneath the sea, forgotten from history simply because we stopped searching where coastlines once were? What mystery lies hidden beneath the thick layer of sediment, which has prevented sonar from exploring deeper? The question is, why haven't international expert teams been granted access to conduct independent verification? The answers to these questions still lie hidden deep beneath the sea, among the forgotten port cities of the Indian Ocean. Now, we cross the Pacific to the Bolivian Altiplano, where stone blocks are cut with extraordinary precision, astonishing even modern engineers. Puma Punku. Try picking up one of the scattered stone blocks at Puma Punku, part of Bolivia's Tiwanaku archaeological complex located at 12,800 feet above sea level, and you'll discover an incredible truth. You'll see perfectly flat surfaces with astonishing precision, deviating by only 0.02 inches, drill holes with such uniform diameters they look machine-made, and interlocking edges as tight as Lego blocks. These aren't crudely carved stones, they are components crafted with absolute precision, some weighing over 100 tons, carved from red sandstone and andesite, one of the hardest types of rock on Earth. What's truly shocking is that the people who created these structures are believed to have had no writing system, no wheeled transport, and only bronze chisels. And so, as early as the 1500s, Spanish chroniclers mentioned this site, describing the massive and exquisitely crafted stone blocks that astonished anyone who saw them. Modern archaeological excavations officially began in the 1960s under the direction of joint Bolivian and German research teams, led by Oswald Rivera. These massive stone blocks weigh an astonishing 130 to 180 tons. Notably, the largest stone block ever discovered weighs a colossal 447 tons, crafted from sandstone. On the andesite blocks, drill holes exhibit perfect circular symmetry and astonishingly uniform depth. The flat surfaces, when measured with a laser level, revealed an extremely small tolerance of just 0.02 inches or 50 microns, a precision comparable to modern machining standards. The interlocking H-shaped stone blocks are exquisitely crafted with mortise and tenon joints, perfectly carved in 3 dimensions. What's astonishing is that under microscopic analysis, no chisel marks were found, a fact confirmed by engineer John Pierre Protzen from UC Berkeley in 1986. Imagine this, the nearest andesite quarry is over 80 kilometers away, across the vast Lake Titicaca. The mystery is, how were these colossal stones moved here? This place bears the scars of a terrible catastrophe. Massive stone blocks lie scattered everywhere, as if they had just endured a violent earthquake or a devastating deluge. According to radiocarbon dating of organic materials, the official age of this site is determined to be between 536 and 600 AD. However, some other researchers point out that the degree of geological erosion on the stone blocks suggests a much older age, far exceeding what we've previously known. The Tiwanaku culture, which existed from 500 to 1000 AD, is believed to have possessed extremely sophisticated stoneworking techniques, using bronze tools combined with abrasive sand to achieve a perfect polish, according to traditional archaeologists. The level of precision achieved is truly astonishing, but it's believed that this was possible through persistent, tireless labor across many generations. The H-shaped blocks were securely fastened with connectors made of copper or copper alloy, creating an incredibly robust structure. This seems to be a testament to superior skill, not a mystery. However, a major problem arises. Copper, with its inherent softness, is completely incapable of cutting hard andesite stone. Even modern engineers have conducted numerous experiments, but all have failed to replicate that absolute precision using only copper tools and sand. If sheer labor alone could explain this feat, then why has no other site in the Andes region achieved a similar level of precision? Even the illustrious Inca civilization, which emerged 500 years later, could not replicate this level of exquisite craftsmanship. While the Inca stone structures at Sacsayhuaman are incredibly impressive, when compared to the absolute precision of Puma Punku, they appear distinctly crude. Engineer Christopher Dunn and many other experts have hypothesized that these stone blocks bear traces of diamond-tipped drilling technology, water jet cutting, or even a lost technique involving softening stone with vibrations or chemicals. If the geological erosion analyses are accurate, then the age of this site could be over 10,000 years before the accepted timeline, meaning it existed prior to the legendary Great Flood. Could Puma Punku be the remnants of a high-tech civilization wiped out by a catastrophic deluge? Or did the Tiwanaku merely discover these blocks and build around them, inheriting a technological legacy that they themselves couldn't replicate? How could stones weighing over 100 tons have been transported across a vast lake and brought to such a high mountain peak? What kind of tools created these incredibly perfect circular drill holes in one of the hardest types of stone on the planet? And why was such a magnificent site abandoned in ruins and so violently destroyed? Leaving the majestic Andes, we will journey to the Middle East, where the foundation stones of an ancient architectural complex make the colossal blocks at Puma Punku look like mere pebbles, Baalbek. The Roman Empire, with its unparalleled architectural prowess, created wonders like aqueducts, magnificent amphitheaters, and enduring road networks. These advanced construction techniques shaped Europe and left an eternal legacy for millennia. Yet, when they arrived in Baalbek, nestled in Lebanon's Bekaa Valley, intending to build a temple to Jupiter in 27 BCE, they were astonished to discover something utterly beyond their comprehension. It was a foundation crafted from colossal stones, interlocked with an unbelievable precision. Even the Romans, master architects who had conquered and shaped half the civilized world, were utterly baffled by how they were created. They built their temple directly upon this foundation, yet they were absolutely unable to move or alter its original structure, simply because they lacked the capability to do so. The architectural complex of Baalbek has been renowned and documented since the most ancient times. German archaeologist Theodor Weigand led extensive excavations from 1898 to 1905, focusing on documenting and studying the Roman structures. However, regarding the structures predating the Roman era, that colossal megalithic foundation remains an unsolved mystery. The trilithon structure is composed of three enormous limestone blocks, each measuring up to 64 feet long, 14 feet high, and 12 feet wide. Each of these blocks is estimated to weigh around 800 tons, and this figure is even considered a highly conservative estimate. Meanwhile, some other researchers have put forward estimates as low as 12 tons. The joints between these blocks are so exquisitely precise that not even a knife blade can pass through the gaps. About half a mile away, in the quarry, lies a stone block known as the Stone of the Pregnant Woman, weighing up to 1,000 tons. This block was partially carved but never moved from its original position. In 2014, a fourth block, dubbed the Forgotten Stone, was discovered right in this quarry, with an estimated weight of up to 1,650 tons. Although the Roman structures were built upon this ancient foundation, the blocks they used were significantly smaller, ranging only from 10 to 20 tons. The Roman construction techniques meticulously documented by Vitruvius make no mention whatsoever of any methods capable of moving blocks weighing up to 800 tons. This foundation is elevated 25 to 30 feet above the natural ground level, a feat that would have required a complex process involving both vertical lifting and horizontal transportation. Astonishingly, on the blocks of the trilithon structure, no tool marks, lever holes, or inscriptions whatsoever have been found. To this day, the method by which these colossal stones were constructed remains an entirely unsolved enigma. Some popular theories suggest that these colossal stones were quarried and moved by the Romans or preceding Phoenician civilizations, mobilizing thousands of workers with rudimentary tools like rollers, levers, and wooden sleds. Despite countless challenges, ancient architects, theoretically with abundant manpower, could have completed this work over many years or even decades. While human will can overcome any obstacle, the practical calculations simply don't add up. Engineering experts have estimated that moving an 800-ton stone block using only rollers would require 40,000 to 60,000 laborers working in perfect coordination. However, the terrain from the quarry to the construction site was incredibly complex, featuring treacherous slopes and uneven ground. And if the Romans truly accomplished this feat, why is there no record of them boasting about it? Roman chroniclers meticulously documented all their significant engineering achievements. Trajan's Column, the Colosseum, the Pantheon, all these wonders were inscribed and celebrated both in stone and in historical records. Yet the magnificent foundations of Baalbek are entirely unmentioned, a mysterious silence. Some researchers have hypothesized that these megalithic foundations predate all known civilizations in the region. It might have been constructed by a pre-Diluvian civilization, possessing advanced knowledge of physics, leverage, and counterweights, knowledge now lost to the annals of history. The Roman temple may have been built upon a much older sacred site, a place revered but not fully understood, even by Rome's most brilliant engineers. Could the trilithon be living proof of superior capabilities that we have yet to recover? How could these massive stones, weighing over 1,000 tons, have been lifted to a height of 25 feet? Why are there no records documenting this monumental architectural feat? Who were the true builders of these foundations, and when were they constructed? The colossal stones stand silently, revealing no answers from the majestic mountains of Lebanon. Now, we cross the Pacific, heading towards a remote island chain, where another megalithic mystery emerges from shallow lagoons. Nan Madol, imagine, you drift across the vast ocean for weeks until a tiny island appears out of nowhere. Let's explore Panape, an island in the Federated States of Micronesia. Your boat will anchor offshore, and you'll transfer to a smaller skiff slowly approaching the coral reef. Massive stone walls rise majestically from the water, encircling nearly 100 artificial islands connected by a network of canals. What's astonishing is that they were constructed from basalt blocks, each weighing up to 50 tons. No mortar, no transport wheels, and no metal tools were used, only millions of tons of hexagonal basalt rock. This is Nan Madol, a unique ancient city on this planet, built directly on a coral reef. Although European explorers first documented Nan Madol in the 1820s, systematic research didn't truly begin until the 1960s. In the 1980s, American archaeologist William Ayres pioneered excavations, meticulously documenting the construction phases of this site. A total of 92 artificial islands, constructed from basalt and coral, span a vast area of up to 170 acres. The outer walls boast impressive heights, ranging from 15 to 25 feet, with some sections reaching a thickness of up to 50 feet. Each individual basalt block measures from 5 to 25 feet in length, with an astonishing weight of 5 to 50 tons. It's estimated that a staggering 750,000 tons of massive basalt rock were transported to this area. The nearest source of basalt was identified as the Sulky Quarry, located on the opposite side of the island or possibly from more distant offshore sources. Radiocarbon dating has revealed that the majority of the construction took place between 12 and 16 AD. However, as noted by Ayres in 1990, local oral traditions recount that the structure was built by two powerful twin sorcerers, Olisipa and Olisopa, and may have existed thousands of years earlier than scientific estimates. Surprisingly, throughout the excavations, no evidence of ramps, levers, or pulley systems was found. Building artificial islands directly on a submerged coral reef required extremely precise knowledge of tides and complex foundation engineering. This area served as a crucial ceremonial and political center for the rulers of the Sautelore dynasty. According to mainstream archaeological views, the Sautelore dynasty mobilized thousands of laborers over several centuries, using rafts to float the massive basalt blocks during high tide, then employing levers to carefully position them, combined with wooden posts and coral fill. Indeed, this is an incredibly impressive architectural feat. The magnificent architectural feats of the Polynesians, though technically advanced, were constructed using forced labor, revealing a distinctly hierarchical social structure. However, with Pohnpei's population numbering only a few thousand, gathering enough manpower to move a colossal 750,000 tons of stone would have meant relocating the island's entire populace, an almost impossible undertaking. Remarkably, local legends offer vivid descriptions. They recount how colossal stones either floated through the air or were moved by magic. These tales bear an uncanny resemblance to stories of levitation at Coral Castle and numerous other megalithic sites worldwide. While merely folk tales, their astonishing consistency compels one to ask serious questions. Some researchers have boldly questioned, could Nan Madol actually be far older than radiocarbon dating suggests? Was it perhaps constructed when sea levels were significantly lower before this entire coral reef submerged deep beneath the ocean? The complete absence of tool marks, coupled with astonishingly precise joinery and an inexplicable, mysterious logistical system, all distinctly echo similar architectural patterns previously discovered at Baalbek and Puma Punku. Could it be that a great megalithic culture once existed and spanned the Pacific, perhaps even predating the Polynesian migrations we are familiar with? Or perhaps the Sautelore dynasty were simply inheritors, taking over these colossal structures, then maintaining and further developing what was already established by a preceding civilization? How could ancient builders have possibly lifted stones weighing up to 50 tons to a height of 25 feet without any tools or mechanical assistance? And another significant question, why did they choose to construct an entire massive city on a coral reef, a location highly susceptible to flooding and frequent violent storms? Could it be that the folk legends of flying stones conceal the memory of a long-lost, superior construction technique? All answers to these mysteries remain tightly sealed within the colossal basalt stones and hidden within ancient legends from the remote, secluded islands deep in the Pacific. Now, let's return to the mysterious Caribbean, where perfectly arranged stones lie hidden beneath crystal-clear blue waters, silently awaiting the moment to unveil their millennia-old secrets. In 1968, a groundbreaking discovery, the Bimini Road, as zoologist and pilot J. Manson Valentine was flying low over the Bahamian archipelago, he unexpectedly discovered a peculiar structure hidden deep beneath the clear turquoise waters, at a depth of 18 feet. It was a straight line of rectangular stones stretching over 2,000 feet, with each block meticulously placed, achieving astonishing geometric precision. These stones took the form of an ancient road or possibly a harbor wall, all long submerged and forgotten beneath the sea. This discovery immediately ignited a fierce wave of controversy, largely because the renowned psychic Edgar Cayce had predicted in 1938 that the legendary city of Atlantis would be found near Bimini in precisely 1968 or 1969. Was this a prophecy fulfilled, or merely an incredibly uncanny coincidence? Immediately in 1968, Valentine, alongside archaeologist William Donato and a team of professional divers from the Pisidia Institute, swiftly launched large-scale underwater surveys to unravel this mystery. The mysterious Bimini Road, a controversial structure, has endured over half a century of scrutiny, fierce debate, and numerous denials. Stretching nearly 2,000 feet, this formation curves in a J-like shape, composed of limestone blocks, mostly rectangular in shape. Each block measures between 6 and 13 feet in length. These stones now rest on the seabed at a depth of approximately 15 to 18 feet below today's sea level. Notably, some blocks still bear tool marks and precise right-angle cuts, a detail Donato affirmed back in the 1990s. Proponents of the structure's artificial origin point to the presence of chalk stones, smaller stones carefully wedged beneath larger blocks, as evidence of deliberate placement. However, carbon dating analyses on limestone samples have yielded inconclusive results. Accurately dating limestone is inherently a significant challenge. During the last ice age, around 20,000 BCE, sea levels in this region were over 300 feet lower than today, gradually rising to current levels between 10,000 and 8,000 BCE. Aerial images also reveal the existence of several other parallel structures, suggesting a more complex system. In the 1980s, archaeologist David Zink reported finding T-shaped blocks and intricately carved marble artifacts near the aligned structures. Geologists, however, notably Eugene Shin of the USGS in 1978, argue that the Bimini Road is merely a natural beach rock formation, a geological phenomenon where sand and shell fragments cement together in the intertidal zone. According to them, the rectangular patterns we observe are a result of natural fracturing along stress lines as sea levels gradually rose. The submersion of this structure has remarkably preserved its shape, creating the impression that nature itself is recreating an architectural marvel. Yet, beach rock typically fractures randomly and cannot produce such uniformly rectangular and straight blocks extending over 2,000 feet. Furthermore, the presence of chalk stones beneath larger blocks, if verified, certainly cannot be a natural phenomenon. In 2005, geologist Dr. Greg Little conducted resistivity surveys, and the results indicated that these blocks rest on a constructed foundation layer, rather than natural bedrock, strongly suggesting a deliberate human endeavor. If the Bimini Road is indeed an artificial structure, it could have been a robust harbor wall or a significant ceremonial road built when this area was above sea level, approximately 10,000 to 12,000 years ago. This hypothesis aligns perfectly with the timeline of great floods that submerged ancient cities like Dwarka, Yonaguni, and countless other coastal sites worldwide. Could Bimini then be the surviving evidence of an ancient Caribbean civilization permanently erased by rising sea levels? Could the legend of Atlantis simply be a collective memory of submerged cities once sprawling across coastal plains? What explains why some stone blocks bear tool marks while others show absolutely none? So what have resistivity surveys revealed about this mysterious foundation layer? Are there other submerged structures hidden beneath the Bahamian seabed, waiting for their secrets to be unveiled? The shadow of Edgar Cayce's prophecy still mysteriously looms over this entire region. Like an invisible spirit, it can neither be proven nor disproven, silently awaiting its moment. Leaving the enigmatic Caribbean, let's explore the majestic Caucasus Mountains, where ancient megalithic structures, older than the pyramids themselves, stand proudly aligned in eternal silence. Deep within the forested mountains of the Caucasus, between the Black and Caspian Seas, dolmen tombs stretch across a vast area of 7,500 square miles throughout southern Russia and Abkhazia. Over 3,000 of these enigmatic stone structures continue to defy simple explanation. Known as dolmens, these are massive stone chambers, constructed from slabs weighing up to 30 tons. Astonishingly, they are fitted together without any mortar, and each chamber features a perfectly circular entrance hole, just wide enough for a person to squeeze through. While some archaeologists estimate their age at around 4,000 years old, others propose a far more startling figure: they could be up to 25,000 years old. Regardless of their true age, one thing is certain: no one can explain who built them or what the real purpose behind these magnificent structures was. The cataloging of dolmen tombs in the Caucasus was initiated by Russian archaeologists in the 1890s. From the 1960s to the 1980s, Vladimir Markov conducted extensive large-scale research, documenting over 24 structures. The latest analyses using ground-penetrating radar and radiocarbon dating, conducted in the 2000s, have ignited fierce debates about their true age. Across a vast area of 7,500 square miles, primarily remote forested regions, over 3,000 dolmen tombs have been discovered and documented. Each structure is formed from 4 to 6 colossal stone slabs, creating rectangular chambers, and is covered by an astonishingly heavy capstone, ranging from 10 to 30 tons. A prominent feature is the perfectly circular entrance holes, with diameters ranging from 1.5 to 2 feet, often sealed with precisely fitted stone plugs. According to standard radiocarbon dating applied to organic materials found inside the chambers, the results indicate they date from 4,000 to 2,000 BCE. However, Valery Dyachenko, an independent researcher, claims that her geological erosion analysis points to a much older age, from 25,000 to 10,000 BCE. Notably, some dolmen tombs are built hidden into hillsides, revealing only their facades, which requires extremely meticulous and precise excavations. A groundbreaking discovery from a 2014 acoustic study by the Russian Academy of Sciences revealed that these mysterious chambers possess unique resonant frequencies, which could have been harnessed to amplify sound for ancient rituals. Their geographical spread, extending over 180 miles, paints a picture of a sophisticated, organized cultural network. Yet, mysteriously, no inscriptions or tool marks have ever been found, and the identity of these great architects remains completely shrouded in the mists of history. Astonishingly, even the indigenous communities living here, such as the Circassians and Abkhaz, possess no oral traditions, not even the slightest whisper, about who built these magnificent structures. These structures simply seem to stand, bearing an antiquity so profound that it predates all human memory and legend. According to mainstream archaeological interpretations, these dolmens were constructed by pastoral cultures during the Bronze Age, serving as sacred burial chambers. The distinctive circular entrance was supposedly designed to facilitate ritualistic access for interring bodies and placing offerings. The presence of similar dolmens in South Korea and across Western Europe, from Brittany to Ireland, is clear evidence of strong cultural diffusion through ancient migrations. While dolmen construction might be a universal human practice, the dolmens in the Caucasus are distinctly different, not matching the European or Korean versions in either architectural style or scale. And if they truly are only 4,000 years old, then why do some exhibit extreme weathering, a clear sign of environmental exposure for over 10,000 years? Their peculiar acoustic properties, coupled with the incredibly precise craftsmanship of their entrances, suggest purposes far beyond mere burial. Perhaps resonant sound chambers, deep meditation spaces, or something entirely beyond our current comprehension. Some bold researchers hypothesize that these dolmens are remnants of a powerful megalithic culture that once spanned the Black Sea region, predating the tumultuous Younger Dryas event. If these claims of extreme antiquity are accurate, they would be contemporaneous with the legendary Göbekli Tepe, thereby revealing a vast network of megalithic builders across Eurasia, existing long before known civilizations emerged. A culture that once possessed profound knowledge of resonance, sophisticated arrangement, and masterful stone craftsmanship mysteriously vanished from the annals of history. The question arises, why are the entrances crafted with such astonishing perfect circularity and uniformity across thousands of different structures? Who were the enigmatic architects who created them, and why has not a single cultural memory of these magnificent works been passed down through generations? Could these unique acoustic properties be revealing a long-forgotten function, perhaps related to harnessing the power of sound or vibration? So, leaving the enigmatic Caucasus, we embark on a final journey to the southern tip of Africa, where an ancient stone circle, older than anything we've ever known, has the potential to rewrite the entire story of human civilization itself. Welcome to Adam's Calendar. You stand amidst an ancient stone circle perched atop a mountain in Mpumalanga Province, South Africa, 150 miles inland from the port city of Maputo. At first glance, what you see might seem unremarkable, just heavily weathered dolerite stones, crudely arranged in a circle. But then, unexpectedly, you begin to perceive their sophisticated and deliberate arrangement. These stone blocks pinpoint the cardinal directions with extreme precision. They are aligned to mark the solstices and equinoxes. Astonishingly, they align perfectly with Orion's belt, appearing on the horizon exactly as it did 75,000 years ago. If this dating is confirmed, you are witnessing the oldest man-made structure on the planet, crafted by anatomically modern humans 50,000 years before Göbekli Tepe, a feat predating agriculture, cities, and even recorded history as we know it. In 2003, pilot Johann Heine stumbled upon this stone circle while flying over the mountain ranges. He immediately informed researcher Michael Tellinger, who then launched an in-depth investigation of the site in 2007. Their discoveries, built upon archaeoastronomy and geological erosion evidence, immediately ignited a fierce debate. This stone circle boasts a diameter of approximately 100 feet. Composed of massive dolerite stones, each weighing between 5 and 10 tons, they are precisely aligned with the cardinal directions of north, south, east, and west. In 2009, Tellinger confirmed the structure's alignment with the sunrise positions during the equinoxes and solstices. The alignment of Orion's belt was determined through calculations of the precession of the equinoxes, revealing a perfect match with its horizon position 75,000 years ago. Geological erosion marks on the stone surfaces, the formation of lichens, and other weathering patterns have been independently assessed by geologists, dating them between 10,000 and 75,000 years old. This site is not alone. It is surrounded by over 10 million similar stone circle structures spread across South Africa, clearly visible in aerial and satellite imagery, testifying to the existence of a vast and highly organized culture. Nearby, ancient stone channels suggest the presence of sophisticated water management or irrigation systems. The site's location points directly to an area that was once a gold mining region. According to Zulu legends, sky gods once mined gold here in ancient times. According to Tellinger, these alignments are not coincidental but the result of clear intentionality. However, mainstream archaeoastronomers contend that these alignments are merely random coincidences. They argue that these stones were naturally formed and arranged by erosion, simply scattered rocks on a hillside. For skeptics, this stone circle is either a natural formation mistaken for a man-made structure, or merely a relatively recent cattle kraal built by indigenous people within the last 500 to 1,000 years. These layouts, in reality, are merely deliberate coincidences, not compelling proof of any astronomical knowledge. While individual stones might point in certain directions, the cattle kraals are not aligned with cardinal directions. Clearly, they were built for practical purposes, not based on any cosmological principles. Even analyses of erosion levels, if partially confirmed, lend further credence to this argument. This reveals a startling truth. These stone structures are far older than any settlement ever discovered in South Africa. The presence of millions of surrounding stone structures, with over 1,000 clearly visible from aerial surveys, attests to an organized landscape transformation on an enormous scale, far from being a product of chance. This is the true purpose: Tellinger and other researchers have boldly proposed that Adam's calendar is the remnant of a highly advanced African civilization, one that predates all recorded history. The calendar's name itself hints at its potential function, a tool for timekeeping and assisting with agricultural planning. If these findings are validated, they would overturn current beliefs, demonstrating that modern humans possessed symbolic thought, extensive astronomical knowledge, and the ability to construct megalithic structures 50,000 years ago, far earlier than what academia currently accepts. Could this be the very cradle of human civilization? Did the great exodus from Africa carry not only genetic codes, but also a wealth of knowledge, sophisticated architectural blueprints, and astronomical observations, thereby sowing the seeds for the emergence of Göbekli Tepe and all subsequent great megalithic structures? So how reliable are the dating estimates based on erosion levels? What led to the existence of millions of stone structures scattered across South Africa? And what is the mystery of their builders? Are the Aryan alignments truly evidence that deliberate astronomical observation took place 75,000 years ago? The silent stones reveal no answers. They only expose peculiar arrangements that, by all accounts, should not exist. 10 sites spanning 5 continents, with estimated ages ranging from 75,000 years or perhaps just 12,000 years depending on the expert's perspective. Even if the dates might be off by decades or even millennia, the existence of this pattern remains undeniable. Consider the astronomical alignments and deliberate burial sites at Göbekli Tepe, the submerged steps with seemingly impossible right angles at Yonaguni, or the mysterious burial chambers deep within Gunung Padang. Look at the submerged seaports of Dwarka, perfectly matching ancient texts, the incredible sophistication of Puma Punku, which even modern technology struggles to replicate, the immovable colossal stones at Baalbek, which once silenced the Roman Empire, the floating city of Nan Madol built on coral foundations, the mysterious geometric road of Bimini hidden beneath the Caribbean Sea, the magnificent dolmen tombs in the Caucasus with their unique sound chambers and circular entrances, and especially the Orion constellation alignment of Adam's calendar, a legacy from the dawn of human civilization. These are not just isolated anomalies. They are disparate pieces forming a mysterious global historical tapestry, a narrative that mainstream archaeology struggles to explain because it utterly challenges the timeline we have been taught. The mainstream view still asserts that human civilization only began around 6,000 years ago. More specifically, in Mesopotamia, agriculture was pioneered 10,000 years ago, and before that time, history only records nomadic hunter-gatherer tribes who supposedly had no time to build temples, no need for astronomy, and utterly lacked the technical capability to create great megalithic structures. We often imagine human progress as a straight line from primitive times to the modern era. However, archaeological evidence is revealing a completely different truth. These discoveries indicate that, prior to the Great Flood catastrophe, there existed cultures capable of stone construction, celestial observation, and a profound understanding of engineering principles. Whether it was the Younger Dryas event, a massive meltwater pulse around 10,800 BCE, a comet impact, or gradually rising sea levels submerging coastal plains. Only recently have we begun to rediscover and recognize the truth about the legendary Great Flood. Myths are not mere fiction, they are memories passed down through millennia. Across continents, from Noah, Utnapishtim, and Manu to Viracocha, every culture preserves similar stories. Though bearing different names, the narrative remains consistent: rising floodwaters, submerged cities, and lost ancient knowledge. The most common explanation posits this as convergent evolution. Given enough time, humans everywhere would naturally develop similar skills and knowledge. They would construct monumental architecture, observe the movements of the sun and stars, and move colossal stones. These astonishing similarities are attributed to mere coincidence, not a mysterious conspiracy, but rather the result of geology and the inherent nature of humanity. It's simply that, nothing more complex. Another hypothesis poses a challenging question. What if this isn't convergent evolution, but knowledge inherited from a prehistoric civilization? What if these sites are actually high watermarks, evidence of civilizations that rose and fell long before recorded history? Suppose the survivors carried fragments of knowledge, rebuilt what they remembered, and encoded the unforgettable into stone structures and myths. What if we are not the first advanced civilization on this planet, but merely the first to forget that we once had great predecessors? We often assume that human progress always moves in one direction, from primitive times to the pinnacle of advancement. But what if history is actually an endlessly repeating cycle? What if we had reached this level of sophistication in the past and then forgot everything? The Romans couldn't move the colossal trilithon stones, the Incas couldn't replicate the complex architecture of Puma Punku, and we today still cannot explain the mystery of Göbekli Tepe. Each era inherits remnants that they themselves cannot recreate, clear evidence that what existed before was far grander than what remains today. Most of us, when visiting museums and admiring historical timelines, rarely question what we are seeing. They readily accept the mainstream narrative, never bothering to question it further. But you are different. You've persevered and followed along this far because you've recognized the inconsistencies within the narrative. You possess a unique ability to discern when the factual evidence simply doesn't align with the explanations provided. You understand that when mainstream archaeologists declare, "We have no answer," their true implication is often, "We don't want to look deeper." Because uncovering that truth would mean rewriting every textbook, every documentary, and overturning every accepted assumption about human history.